Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Union Collectors channel, and today we are doing a Patreon requested video. Mega Doomer has asked that we take a look at the Generation Selects Black Zarak. So to begin, like always, let's get him out of here so we can take a look at the box. Alright, so taking a look at this box here, as you can see on the front we have a very cool picture of Black Zarak here. Super cool looking. I really like that. Up here we have the Transformers Legacy logo, the nice Hasbro logos and everything. And this is my first Titan class figure, so I was really underestimating just how big this box actually is. Like, that's my hand actually on it, and I don't have real small hands. But that's the front of it there. On the top you get a really nice Transformers Legacy logo. On this side, you kind of just get a continuation of the art of Black Zarak with a nice Decepticon logo. On this side, there's just some stripes. There's really nothing on the back. But on the bottom, you get a nice Titan class Black Zarak there. And if we open this box up, on the inside here, you have some really cool art of Black Zarak's head. His spear over here, and then Transformers Legacy. Very cool. I like these Legacy and Legacy Evolution Gen Selects boxes. I really like how this looks here. But that's really about it for the box, so let's get that out of here. So bringing Black Zarak back in here, this thing is huge. And as you can see, he's mostly black with a little bit of Zarak. And then you got some gold up here, got some nice teal and red. I really like that teal on there actually, it's very interesting looking. And since it's so big, let's just go ahead and take the camera off of its stand here. Kind of get a closer look at it. The head is mostly red with gold on the face and nice purple on the eyes up there. There's the nice teal on the chest, some kind of gunmetal gray details up here, big purple Decepticon logo. Very cool looking. Going down, you can see some red on his hands here. Get some more teal up there in the thighs. Down here, you actually have some purple details along the shins and the gold toes. Very cool looking figure here. Absolutely enormous. Let's get this back on the stand here, and don't mind my my curtain in my background here. This thing is so big I can't really fit it on camera any other way. But just very cool looking figure. We can go ahead and spin it around so you can kind of see a back view. There we go. On the back, you get a little bit more red up here, some red down here, some teal, a little bit more of the gold. Mostly just black, but very cool looking figure. And this guy is a repaint of the Earthrise Scorponok, who is also a Titan class, but Scorponok is more like green and purple, whereas this guy is red, gold, and black. And he is Scorponok kind of rebuilt in the Japanese show Super God Master Force. So, not a very common character in America. He's a lot more known in Japan. But this thing is enormous. So here is me just kind of grabbing the leg here, just so I can kind of see how big this thing is. Freaking huge. He does have quite a few accessories that we can go over here. He's got this big spear. Get it out of his hand. This spear here is actually multiple pieces. So the tip is one piece, this is a second piece, this is a third piece. You got a fourth piece, a fifth piece, and a sixth piece back here. So this is actually 6 different pieces. Go ahead and close his hand back up. And then on each side, you have some of these little cannons. These are cast out of a nice gold plastic. And so far, to my knowledge, there is no GPS with this figure. The original G1 version of this character from Japan is notorious for GPS. I've heard it called Schrodinger's collectible, and I really like that because it's got a lot of value to it, but you have no idea whether it's priceless or worthless until you open the box. So we can go ahead and put this back up here. This just pegs in with a 5mm port on his shoulder. It is blast effect compatible on the two barrels. And then on either side of his legs here, you have these gold panels which can come off. So let's go ahead and grab these. So here are the two gold pieces. And then on his back, we can grab this piece. And this has some little pinchers on it. Very cool. My this one likes to fall off all the time. But you can take these two pieces and connect them right here. Just like this. And you can use these 4 5mm posts to go into these holes here to kind of form him a big shield. And this shield you can actually use, it's really hard to do, but there are 5mm posts on his arm up here that you can actually peg this in on his arm. And it looks really cool. It's just really hard to do on camera, so I'm just going to have to take my word on it. It does work. But let's go ahead and separate these and reattach these. Goes this way, this way. All in all, this is a massive figure. Very, very cool. And I absolutely love how this thing looks. And I'm very glad this was my first Titan because I don't know how many more Titans I'm going to be getting because I just don't really know where to put this thing. But he does have another accessory, but I'll kind of talk about that later. His head does come off, and it is a Headmaster, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's actually a double Headmaster. But for the moment, we can go ahead and get his spear out of here, and we can do Articulation. So this thing has a ton of ratchet joints. But we can go ahead and start from the top. His little antennas up here are adjustable. You can kind of put them however you want. They are actually on a 5mm port, so you can just take them off. But the head can spin around, full 360. You can also look up and down slightly. It kind of has like a downwards looking joint, which is really nice because it's so big. You can kind of make him look down upon the puny leader class figures. His arms on very solid ratchet joints can do a full 360. Just like that. They can come in this far, as well as out this far. He does have bicep rotation, also on a very heavy ratchet joint, as well as an elbow bend to about straight 90 degrees. No wrist articulation, but you can open his claws up and his fingers are separately articulated. Very nice for holding his spear. He does also have a non-ratcheted waist joint. Let's see if I can pick this thing up. His legs, let's see. His legs can kick out almost, actually completely straight, as well as thigh rotation and a double jointed knee, mostly for transformation. as well as ratcheted ankle rocker joints. And articulating this thing is very loud because every single joint is ratcheted except the hips. But all in all, fairly well articulated for this thing's size, I would say. Go ahead and give him his spear back. Very, very cool figure. I absolutely love this. This was definitely a good choice for a first Titan. But while we have him all connected up here, let's go ahead and do a couple size comparisons. So here's Black Zarak. And let's grab some commander size figures here. Here we have the fully combined Legacy Menasor. And here we have, if I can grab this thing, this is the fully combined HasLab Victory Saber. Get that out of there. So as you can see, definitely bigger than a Commander class figure. That is for sure. Get these guys out of here now, though. And we can now move on to his Headmaster, which I'm going to take off, and we're going to kind of reposition the camera. Actually, before I forget, to take his head off, you just grab it and rip the thing off. But let's go ahead and get this transformed and take a look at this. Alright, so here is Black Zarak's head in its head mode, just to kind of give you a better look at this. So it is primarily red with some black and a bit of gold on it. You get some nice purple flares up here. His eyes in there are actually purple. They're just kind of hard to show because of the angle of my lights, and they kind of just shadow away there. But very cool looking. Let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. And like always, transformation guide will be in the description as well as right up here. Alright, so here is the head in its robot mode. And I know the head has a name. I don't remember if it's just Zarak, or if that's just Scorponok's head, or if that's the same, because I mean they're kind of the same character, but kind of not at the same time. But there he is. And again, you get a lot of that nice gold here with a very cool, like, red exposed internals there from battle damage. Very cool. Primarily black, some red and gold. There's the back. Very, very cool little dude. This is like a full-size deluxe figure here. And if you come in on his face, you can actually see here. Let's zoom in on that. You can see that his face is purple, and he's got a nice eye patch going there. Pretty cool looking. I really like how this little head, how this like minifigure came out here. And you can actually take these pieces off, and you can kind of use them as like a little, let's get that in there. As, oh, he doesn't really want to hold it, but it is just a 5mm port, so you can wield it as a weapon if you choose to. But he is fairly well articulated. I mean, he is pretty much a fully functional deluxe class figure here. His head is a Headmaster, so it's on a normal Headmaster joint, a little up and down, tiny bit of side to side. It is restricted by these parts on his shoulders. These are actually what clip the head into the larger Black Zarak body. But he does kind of have a weird shoulder joint here that you can use for articulation if you can find a way to use it. But you can do a full 360 at the arm. This red section here can kind of move in and out just a little bit. He does have a double jointed elbow, so you can get a full 180 degrees at the elbow, as well as bicep rotation there. Just kind of hard to use because of this whole chunk being in the way. And you can kind of fold his wrists in for some articulation, but there is no side to side on the wrists. There is a waist joint in here that is impeded by this like flare on the back here, so it can only go that far. Legs can kick out straight, can kick back a little bit less than fully straight, can kick out to the side, tiny bit less than fully straight. He does have thigh rotation, as well as about a little tiny bit past 90-degree knee bend, as well as a full forward knee bend for transformation, and then ankle rocker joints. So fairly articulated on this little guy. And if you want to say, I mean, he does have these two for accessories. But for a quick size comparison, let's go ahead and grab, we have Legacy Kickback. So like I said, full-size deluxe. He is not real small at all. And we can go ahead, get him out of here. Here's Legacy Walgreens exclusive Minerva. And so far, he's actually a little bit bigger than both of these deluxes. So let's go ahead and get a Voyager for a comparison. Here is Kingdom / Earthrise Optimus Prime. So he's got a fairly decent size to him. He's definitely not a small deluxe, but he's definitely a deluxe. He's not a Voyager. But we can go even smaller. So you can go ahead and pop his head off. And here is the Headmaster, if you want a little bit closer look there. That eye patch. But we can go ahead and fold him out. And he is essentially just a smaller version of this guy, which is essentially just a smaller version of the big robot. So let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here. So here's the Headmaster. He's got some gold on his chest and then black on his limbs. He also has purple on the face and red on the eyes. Very, very cool looking. There's that face again. Very nice. I like this little Headmaster a lot. I really like how this guy is like a double Headmaster. Very cool. But we can go ahead and get him transformed back into his head mode and his head mode and get him put back on Black Zarak. And then we can take a look at his Scorpion mode. So once again, transformation guide down in the description, as well as right up here. Alright guys, so here we are in Scorpion mode, and this thing is literally too big to fit on camera. I have my phone zoomed out as much as I possibly can. I am at 0.6 zoom right now, and it's just not fitting. So I'm just going to take it off the stand and just show you this. So don't mind seeing my wall back there. It is a wall, yes. But here he is in Scorpion mode. And this thing, it's even bigger in this mode somehow. It's not as tall, but it's definitely longer. Like, look at this. Absolutely massive. But you do retain a lot of its functionality. Like, you can still pose its arms different, open its claws, pinch the pinchers and all that kind of stuff. The head can still move. Just all sorts of stuff. It does have a scorpion tail up here with a little stinger that is actually blast effect compatible right there. With just a little nub. He does have these four, kind of pathetic feet here. There's really no articulation on them. They can stretch out further, and the toes can move, but that's really about it. There is no, like, sideways movement to these, so they're just kind of stuck four right next to each other like that. But just awesome, awesome figure. It actually does have, let's see if I can really show you this. Right here is a wheel. Actually, that's not even it. Somewhere underneath it, there are wheels. Oh, right there, if you can kind of see that weird little nub right there. That is a golden wheel right there. So this thing does roll fairly nicely. So it is somewhat mobile. Sorry, I keep getting my fingers in front of the way. I'm just holding the camera right now. But very, very cool. I definitely like Scorpion mode here. And you can put most of his accessories on him in Scorpion mode, so his guns just stay... They actually switch sides in transformation, so you just pop them off this side from robot mode, put them on the back for Scorpion mode. Those little gold panels just go right here. The part with the little pincher just goes right down there. And the instructions show to put part of the spear up here, but this thing has a hard enough time staying up on its own, so it just does not hold. I don't know if that's just my copy or if that's just kind of a general problem with this, but the sword or the spear can go on this in Scorpion mode. I just simply can't get it to fit. But we can do a super quick size comparison. Since this thing is absolutely enormous, there is Netflix Bumblebee for you. Let's actually move him up to here, just to kind of show you that. Just massive, this thing. That's really about it for Scorpion mode, so let's go ahead and get him transformed into his base mode. Check that out. And once again, like always, transformation guide in the description, as well as up here. And here is base mode. And if you guys watched my, well, any other review that I've had a base mode in, I've mentioned a few times that I don't really care for base modes at all. This might be the one that changes my mind. This is really cool. I've actually never transformed this into base mode until just now. But this is really cool. So once again, just because of its size, let's just go ahead and pop it off of my stand and kind of take a better look at this. Very, very cool. Go ahead and get... I think this is Zarak. I'm not sure. There nowhere in the instructions or the box does it name the head or the headmaster. But there we go. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of like silver detailing going on up here. Some gunmetal gray. This little teal ramp up here with some gold. Got some red and some gold. There's like the throne with these like pillars going up to the side with these spikes from the spear. You actually have to like fully disassemble the spear to do this. Very cool. I actually really like this. And then on the ramps you get some red there. Very, very, very cool. This might be the very first base mode I've ever had that I actually genuinely enjoy. But I do like the little throne type deal going on up here, so we can kind of just adjust the head here, have him sit up here on the throne. Very, very cool. I genuinely like this. This is pretty cool. And for a quick size comparison, let's just bring in Netflix Bumblebee again. Black Zarak makes Bumblebee look freaking tiny. He can like drive down the little ramp here, and he only takes up the right side. Look at that. Insane. This is wild. I actually like this base mode a lot. Super, super cool. Kind of a pain to transform it into. Not really looking forward to transforming it out of, but definitely a cool look. Let's get Bumblebee out of here. Quit playing with that. But that's about it for base mode. So let's go ahead and get him transformed back into robot mode so we can get this video finished up. Alright, now that we're all done with all of his various modes and everything, we can finally finish this video up. This is my first Titan class figure, and I'm very glad this was my first Titan class because this thing is badass. I really like the colors. It's enormous. It's it has a presence on the shelf. Very cool figure. If you don't own either Scorponok or Black Zarak, I would definitely recommend picking one of them up because this mold is very, very fun to mess with. I enjoy it a lot. I want to give a double thumbs up to Mega Doomer on Patreon for suggesting this video. If you want to join the Patreon, support the channel, and suggest your own video, go ahead. The link is down in the description. Go join up. There is no tiers, no nothing. You can donate 10 cents if it'll let you. I don't care. If you want to request a video, go ahead. Down in there, send me a message. We can figure something out. If I own the figure, I can definitely make a review on it. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I hope you have a great night.